Hello, America. It's Dannie Bradshaw. I was just wanting to come to you and talk about a little bit about my life. And that way people in America learn who I am. My dad had left my mother at a young age in a place called Jesse Turner Terrace. I called him the old man because he never was really to step up to be a dad. And a guy my mom got with right after that was a guy named Joe Horton, which was a molester of my siblings. Thank God that he didn't stay in our life. And it was to do a lot with my older sister's husband, Dannie McKinney, helping my mother out a lot. And a man came into my mother's life named Sarge. And then she didn't stay with him long, but she moved to Mississippi. Well, Sarge, during the time that we were being raised in Van Buren, Arkansas and Fort Smith, Arkansas, Vietnamese infiltrated the area. Cuba came over. And things happened with my mother. And I moved to California in 1988 in May of 88. Well, this is the home of the free because of the brave. This is not the land of the scared and home of the enslaved. Open up this country along with our beaches that will kill the virus anyway. Sun and salt water will kill this virus. God's medicine. These packed out stores will not kill the virus. If you're going into these stores, it doesn't matter. Elbow to elbow. And but we're going to coop everybody up in a store, but we can't go out into the countrysides that God's created, our beaches, our waters, and be free. Take your foot off the American people so we can heal and feed our families. Open up every church door across this nation, around this world, in Jesus' name. You know, people taking legal methods to get ahead, like bankruptcy. Well, look, solemn witch trails. Threw them in water. If they sunk and drowned, they were not a witch. If they swim and live, they are a witch, so they were killed. So no matter what, you were done. Well, let me tell you something. What's going wrong, and things are done so wrong, for so long, when things get done right, they're going to think it's wrong. I moved to California in 1988. I married in May. And I got married in November the 29th of 88. Before I got married, I was working in Lake Elsinore in a grocery chain. This guy was making fun of a Vietnam veteran. Just because I said you shouldn't treat the people the way you do, he beat the hell out of me. And this grocery chain wanted to cover it up. Didn't want to call the police or anything. For 3 months, my head spun. That's how bad I got beat. While I was working at this grocery chain, I couldn't stay in that district because of the person that I married was, one of the persons that I worked with was kin to my wife. So I had to get out of his district, which that alone was discrimination. Well, When I got to the other district, the meat manager says I couldn't go to my a wife's miscarriage, and the store manager allowed it to happen. The meat manager also saw another manager grab me around my throat, pick me up off the ground, tell me he was going to kill me for walking down a waxed aisle that I accidentally walked down, that I didn't even know was waxed. And it wasn't just the grocery chain that was bad. You have the police officers. I bought some motorcycles for my son. They got stolen. They found out who stole them. And all they did was, hey, here's your stolen bikes back, all stripped down. And the law is, even though you bought them, if they were in somebody else's name, they still didn't belong to you, even though you bought them. Well, a little while later, that same police officer that took that report is talking to my wife, putting up a mailbox, and all my wife say is, Sheriff Department doesn't do nothing for us, the Riverside County. And that deputy handcuffed my wife, threw her in the back of the car just for saying that the Sheriff Department didn't do anything of Riverside County. Well, at that particular grocery chain, I went to the Army Reserves, Desert Storm, in 1991. That same meat manager that watched the guy grab me around my neck and tell me he wanted to kill me, told me he also wouldn't allow me to go to my wife's miscarriage, said that he didn't believe in the Army Reserves because of the simple fact his sales were Saturday and Sunday was the most important sales, so I shouldn't be going to the Army Reserves. And it was even wartime. I was set up, another second man with another manager that got in charge as a manager after that manager left to another store. What ended up happening, he watched this second man grab me by my arm, and they used saying that I said something to him in the parking lot to terminate me. They called the police. The police said there was nothing done wrong. But the union, Meat Cutters Union, 439, said, yeah, you're wrong. I even went to them and talked to them about the wrongdoing that was being done. And they told me before I was terminated, you're going to get fired. And they were right. I got fired. But they can stand up for somebody that was stealing. And the company, which was another grocery store, said that they didn't call the police officers because they knew the guy would get arrested. Well, 2 years later, that same union fought for that guy that was stealing, said since they didn't call the police, that it shouldn't have been a termination. So they got this guy's job back with back pay. But something that was called on the police, and the police said that there was nothing wrong, then they won't take up for you. Well, if you call the police and there's nothing wrong, how can you get terminated? But if you don't call the police for something that's done wrong, knowing that somebody's going to get in trouble, but you're going to fight for their job, it's okay. Well, that same company, I got blackballed for letting the management know that a person was urinating in the unsanitary in the meat. Then I went to another company called Albertsons. And every manager at that store got a $4,000 bonus. While I was sitting there working my tail end off for my family, driving numerous miles, and every manager in that store in like a 3-month period got a $4,000 bonus. They'd never seen it before. Then I went to Vaughn's, became a meat manager, and we got an absolute 10, the best that you could get. And they got a 0 before I got there. Albertsons in Fort Worth, same baloney. Went to work at Roto-Rooter Plumbers. My house got condemned for the simple fact that I built it myself. The code enforcement lady said that you can't build on steel, that it's not strong enough to build on. Well, what do they build skyscrapers out of? Steel. I let a person and his wife and child buy a place for $200 a month. They gave me $200, and then the sheriff department said that they could get a restraining order on me because I asked for my $200. There was no threat. All I wanted was what was agreed upon. These people stayed there for a couple of years, turned me into code enforcement. I had to tear my house down with my children. And that was another thing. People filing bankruptcies, getting home loans just to come up. I bought a place that code enforcement was on. Code enforcement tells me I'm not allowed to buy it because he has the person going to sign it over to him so he could have it and he could start making money. Well, that's strictly against the law. I had a police officer of Riverside County ask me to help him get a person of interest that was doing home invasion robberies. Was able to let them know they couldn't get them. They couldn't get them a couple times. Then the third time I tell the guy, man, look, have the deputies go to my yard. I'll talk to him. I told him, hey, it's a house trailer. The guy was in the box springs of a mattress. That's where they found him. Well, my reward from a bad police officer, not the one that asked me, because he was a good man, he asked me, so I told him, sure, I'll help you, no problem. Well, the thanks I got was a corrupt cop come up, knowing that my area where I live is a rough place to live. There's methamphetamine addicts, there's dealers of methamphetamine, bad folks, thieves, which, hey, each his own, but I have to live somewhere. A deputy come out, got out of his car, put his foot on his front bumper, and hollered as loud as he could, Mr. Bradshaw, we want to thank you for getting so-and-so for us. Well, that's a big thank you. No, that was throwing me under the bus. Thank you, Mr. Deputy, you corrupted deputy. And the ones that are good out there, I salute you guys. You never drop your uniform until the day you die, once you uniform up. No matter if you're Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marine, police officer, fireman, whatever. What man does to us, God takes care of us. A Beaumont police officer one day was called because these people had taken my pickup at a paint shop, body shop. I told him it was my truck. He said, no, it's not. They have a lien sale on it. He tells me to get in my van. I get in my van, and he runs up, and he hits my side of my van and tells me, now you're trying to run over a police officer after he told me to leave. He cuffs me, puts me in the back of the police car. There was other police officers came, and they said, no, he filed a police report about this truck. Well, that sergeant finally talks to the people that had my truck, and they said, well, give him the key to the truck so he could take it. They said, we don't have a key, we hotwired it. I had the key in my pocket. But there's so much corruption going on. Thank God that things happen better than what they could have turned out. You know, they took and people say you need psychic medication. I was talking to my daughter. She deals with a lot of people. She's a good kid that takes care of people that have some mental problems. This doctor told her, was talking down to her, and she said, look, I don't work for you. You work for me. You take care of the people that I'm a home administrator from. And she told me that this doctor was named Dr. Torben, which is fine. I said, you know, that doctor diagnosed me in 1991. And she says, Dad, did you know he was an alternate lifestylist? Ever how you want to say it. I said, look, he don't even know who he is, but he's going to try to tell me who I am. I had an RN one time told me a complete different story what he said. She said post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, I could go with that. But what he said, I don't believe. Things happen in your life, okay? What she said, I believe. And she wasn't even a doctor. But these doctors, they practice. I was put in another place. A doctor asked me, do I want to hurt myself? I said, no. He said, do you want to hurt anybody else? I said, no. He said, well, you need this medication. And that medication says that you'll want to hurt yourself. Try to commit suicide. Oh, sure, that's what we need then. Baloney. Big, fat baloney. You know, I'm going to say this right here. I'm going to ask the people to feel free to add a comment or question that might have on what they want me to address. I will be proactive and support America and participate in America, a cause of whatever the cause may be. What makes America great? Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, everyone in this nation. God makes it great. What is taken away from us? The mentally ill man killed in Fullerton, California, begging for his dad. The brick thrown through the man's head driving a truck, not doing a thing with the LA riots. God out of our schools. How to fix this stuff. We need to pray. Get on our knees and pray. Every day, every second. Without ceasing. If God for us, who can be against us? Greater is He in me than he in the world. We need to listen more than speak. Men and women died and fought for our freedom. USA stands for the land of the free, home of the brave. This is not home of the enslaved. This is not home of the scared. Open up this country. Open up this country. Open up this country. Open up this country. Let's stand up and open up this country. Let's don't allow us, our people, to starve to death. God makes America great. One nation under God. And you know, in the military, in the army, if we were to get captured, we want to be treated the right way. So if we capture someone, we treat them the right way. And if we don't, we should be taken care of and be dealt with. The Vietnamese came. We taught them English. We taught them how to read and write. We loved them. That's what we need to do. They were people out there in Vietnam that helped us, and we didn't leave them behind. The same with what's going on today. If we're in wherever we're at and we leave the people that helped us out there, they're going to get killed. That isn't right. No matter who comes to this country, as long as we do what's right, who cares who's here? My grandmother on my mom's side, Cherokee Indian, full blood. My grandmother on my dad's side, Cherokee Indian, full blood. The meat manager where I worked at the grocery store at that time didn't agree with the Army Reserves. But where does this meat manager think his freedom comes from to even become a meat manager? His dad came over here from where they want to build a wall. The reason I got beaten in Lake Elsinore is because a man was making fun of a Vietnam veteran that had a direct hit and lost his left eye. But that wasn't the reason he beat me. The reason he beat me is because he pushed me as hard as he could, and I told him, look, you're not going to push me around like you do everybody else. Well, was I wrong? I should have just let him push me around and ran. But hey, sometimes you just get your head beat in for no reason at all, just because you stand up for what's right. You could get fired for no reason at all. You could get arrested for no reason at all. You could have a judge, a DA, and police officers set you up. There's a story, Holtzclaw, Holtzclaw. Daniel is his first name, in Oklahoma City. Check it out, y'all. Tell me if that man didn't get railroaded. I told his dad, his lieutenant, and they ended Oklahoma. I said, sir, when I become president, we're going to definitely get your man out of where he's at. 263 years. Let me tell you something, people. All lives matter. My grandson's lives matter. You know, we need to stop the baloney. I put a clutch in a manager's Jeep. A 1946 Willys. Had to pull his motor out. He gave me $25. He told me if I didn't like it, I was fired. He would also fire box boys for going out with his girlfriend at the grocery store when he was a married man. But he finally did get a divorce. It'll catch you. All darkness comes to light. It says it in the Word. Well, I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm running for the President of the United States of America. I need people's help. I need America's help. I can't do this by myself. I know with God, everything's possible. What man says is impossible, God says is possible. You know, cancer gets people. We need to deal with things like that. We need to deal with people that are committing suicide. And do you think what's going on right now with what's going on in the world, do you think that's going to fix anything? It's going to make things worse. When people can't go and feed their families, it's going to make things worse. But we got to get on our knees and pray. We got to put God back in it. Everything we do. It don't matter if you believe in God or not. God is a real God. He's 100% real. If you don't believe me, pinch yourself and see if you don't feel it. He made you. He made man out of dirt. He made women out of rib. That's the reason men are dirt, and that's the reason women are prime rib. It says in the Word to take care of our children and our widowers. You know, we need to stop the baloney that's going on in this country. And we can. And I will. I will stand up for what's right. And am I going to make mistakes? I sure will. I've made plenty of them. If you don't believe me, you could ask my wife. I have a pastor, Dan Kyle. Love the man. I went in one day and I talked to the church and I said, you know, I told this Marine that was growing marijuana, you dropped your uniform. Well, that's my belief. Hey, people, whatever. There's going to be people do whatever. Ask Willie Nelson, he'll tell you. Well, I said, you know, I told this guy that he dropped his uniform, and I'm not a pastor. I've said some things that I shouldn't have said. And the pastor said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm not a pastor, so I've said some bad words that I shouldn't have said. And he said, well, that don't mean anything. And he got a good Bible study out of me saying that. But I said, well, but pastor, you're not a sinner. And his wife said, do what? And I said, well, he's not a sinner. She said, oh, baloney. So we're all sinners. We all fall short. But it don't matter. Okay? People call it religion. I call it a way of life. This is what we have to do. We have to get on our knees and pray for our families. It works, because I've seen it work. We have to put God back in everything, because we can't take him out of anything. In God we trust on everything. In God we trust. John 14:6. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I love this country. And it don't matter what man's done. I could care less. There was a person of interest that raped my daughter, Desiree. Now he works for FedEx. They wouldn't convict him. They wouldn't even put charges on him for raping my daughter. But after my house burned down, he walked around saying that it's done on earth like it's done in heaven. He's got a big old eagle on his cheek. But when I found out he raped my daughter, yeah, you bet you, I put some combat boot steel toes in his shins. Sure did. Both shins. Where he didn't even have a leg to stand on. And I let him know I could fly that eagle anytime, any place, anywhere. Especially if they're going to allow people like him to rape my daughter. And other people robbed my 19-year-old baby girl's house. And also robbed my wife's house. I saw the video. I've had deputies come up to my house where people rob it. There'll be a thumbprint or a fingerprint and they'll just rub it off. I don't see nothing. That's corruption, people. This police officer that was asked to resign that lived in Cabazon, California, all he did was go around to all the drug houses and all the people that were bad, and that's who he associated with. He didn't associate with good people. I even saw my one child in a bad place, and he said, don't worry about it. Well, I am going to worry about it. That's my baby. But we had a set-free ministry. They surrounded my house. They lived in all kinds of houses. They helped people that were needing help. And I thank God for that ministry. Phil Aguilar is the founder of that. And what he say, you know, people would ask, ain't you worried about your children? What these people could do to your children? He said, nope, I'm worried about what my children could do to them. He believed in God Almighty. And yes, they rode a motorcycle or two. People went to his church, but it doesn't matter. You know, I'd much rather be on an iron horse than driving in a car with claustrophobic. I love this country. I stand up for it. Even though I've been done wrong. It doesn't matter what man does to us. It's what God does for us. He takes care of us all the way. I love you, Father. I thank you for everything. I thank you for where I'm at today. I thank you for who you put in my life today. You put some special people in my life, constantly. And I ask, Lord, that you just keep doing that, what you do. I ask for the blessings for each and every one of our families out here in this country. That the lost be saved, the burdens lifted off of us, and let us do the right thing. One nation under God. We can make disciples of all nations, Lord, and change this world. We love you, Father. We just come to you. We lay everything down at the cross. Father God, the Gospels is what fixes everything. We have our natural healing, our beaches with salt water, our sunlight will kill these viruses. The natural ability to stop these viruses is out there, but we got to allow it to happen. We can't have the government stopping it. People will come in and make you tear your house down when it's a bunch of baloney. You know, I bought a piece of ground. I can't even put a camp trailer on 3 acres. They call that excessive storage, which is baloney. One camper on 3 acres is not excessive storage. I love you, Father, and thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.